All right, just to help you guys out, you're going to see two terms. You're going to see two terms today, and I want to make sure we know what inequality to write so we don't have to discuss it mid-problem. You're going to see the term less than. I'm not yet less than. You should know what to do that. Sorry. At least. And you're going to see the term at most. And I want to make sure we know right away what inequality to write down. I have at least $10 in my pocket. What's that telling you guys? I have at least $10 in my pocket.
Less than or equal to?
I have at least 10. Oh. So I could have 10, right? Or I could have more, right? So if I see at least, I want greater than or equal to there, right? If we have a problem that has the term at least and at most, let's say I have at most $20 in my pocket. I have 20 or less, so less than or equal to. All right, so just a heads up when those come up. All right, let's hop right into it. All right, you guys can read. Elevator's got a capacity of 2,000. Can we first just talk what's capacity of 2,000? Okay, you can't have more than 2,000, right? Can you have 2,000? Yeah. Okay, you just can't have any more than 2,000 or it just shuts down. So here's the deal. A child weighs about 50 pounds. An adult, we're going to say it weighs about 150. We're going to write an inequality. X will be children, Y are adults. All good. X children, Y adults. Write me an inequality that causes the elevator to overload itself. So we just talked, can't have more than 2,000. So I want to come up with an inequality that says it's going to overload if this happens. All right, let's start with the kids. How should I represent the kids? I know it's, I just don't want to put X though. They weigh a certain amount, so I'm going to put 50 pounds for every child. What about the adults now? Plus 150Y. And now you can't put equals anymore. We're done with the equals business. We got to put an inequality. Overloads the elevator. Think about it, and I'll call on somebody. Overloads the elevator, and 2,000, remember, is the capacity. So what symbol should I be putting here? 7, what's going to overload it?
Great to them.
Notice I'm not putting the or equal to, because I can have 2,000 pounds there. 2,000. Question. That's we're only going to do one here, and then we'll do a couple. We'll do 2 at a time or 3 at a time on the next one. Are we okay? All right. Next thing now, because we're doing word problems, you will probably never have answers that are negative when we do these word problems. So what I'm telling you is when we do the graph, there's no need for this anymore. All right. There's no need for that because I don't have negative answers. So I'm only going to do a graph that looks like I'm in quadrant 1. So we're going to go here to here now. All right, that's how our graphs are going to look. Why? We don't have any negative answers anymore, guys, with these word problems. I can guarantee it. We're not going to have a negative amount of something. And then from here, I'm not changing the rules. Find your X and your Y intercept. All right, go. Find your X and your Y intercepts now. Just like we've been doing the last 2 days, plug in 0 for one variable, solve for the other. That's not changing at all. Find the 2 points you need to graph. So plug in 0 for one, solve for the other. Remember, use an equal sign now when you solve for these. And then we have one more problem to figure out. Give me one of your points that we should be graphing in a second. 8, one of the points I should graph. 40, 0. Yep, there's the X. And then if you plug in 0 for x, what ends up being your y value here? 12. Not here. 8. I plug in 0 for y. What's my x?
I don't think I did it right. I'm getting 13.
You did it right.
Oh.
That's fine. It doesn't have to be whole numbers. I can still graph that. But, all right, ready? Before I go to the graph, anybody see the problem we're going to run into? Look at one of my points here.
40.
Yeah, I can't graph 40, 0. That's impossible. So, okay. So guess what I'm going to have to do on the x-axis then? I can't go by ones because 40 is not there. I got to pick a different interval so 40 is there. Would 2s work?
No.
I don't think I have enough room for 2 either. So I'll go by...
Go by 10s.
No way am I going by 10s. My graph will be that tiny. We can go by 5s. Let's go by 5s. So watch out for... Hey, we're going to get bigger numbers now. All right, so we may have to go by something else other than 1s. So on the x-axis, y-axis, I think we're okay. We can graph 13.3. I think we got enough units there. But here, I'm going to have to go by 5. So you're going to have to show me a couple markings that you don't have to show me all of them. Just show me a few that says, hey, I'm going by 5s now. 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. And I don't have to do anything on the y-axis because I'm leaving that going by 1s. All right, graph your 2 points. I got 40 and 13.3. Right there. All right, here we go. A couple other questions. Solid or dashed line when I line up my straight edge? 15, solid or dashed? Dashed because it doesn't have an or equal to. And I'm still testing the same points out. All right, I can test 0, 0 here because the line doesn't go through it. So based on that, when you plug in 0, 0, does it work?
Not true.
Will it work? 3, will it work, Dylan? Is 0 greater than 2,000 when I plug it in? Nope, so I should shade. Remember, everyone good? If it doesn't work versus it does, where to shade? So I want to shade away from 0, 0. So above this line. Okay, shaded above. And now I got a couple follow-up questions, so be prepared for these now. Give me an ordered pair that's in the solution now. So I want to give me a point, an x and a y point that's clearly in my shaded region, my solution. And then we'll talk about what it means. So give me, there's infinite points you could give me, but give me a point that's definitely in my solution set here. Talk to me. 10?
35, 8.
35,
Wait,
8?
What? No.
Oh, wait.
Okay,
Well,
Tim,
wait.
relax.
35, 15.
Okay, 35, 15. I'm good with that one. Now tell me what it means. You know, Nick could have given me any other point too, but 35, 15 works. What was the x coordinate again? That's my, go back to the context of the problem. What's my x?
35 kids.
So 35 children and 15 adults do what? There you go. 15 adults overload the elevator. And that could be any combination of numbers as long as it's in the shaded region. Anything you want to ask before I add a couple more inequalities to the same problem now? You know, handling one is fine, but what happens if we have to handle more than that? We good? We sure? All right. And there's only 2 of them, and there's only 2 of them tomorrow for the classwork. So I will try my best here to lessen the workload. So anytime you're doing an inequality word problem, I'll let you know how many you should have. All right, but it's up to you to create them. This one in particular, we should have 3 inequalities at the end of this diagram. All right, we should have 3. So help me come up with the 3 right now. All right, so we got 15,000 doing no more than 15,000. Talk to me in English. What's that? More English. It can't be no more than 15. So could it be 15,000?
No.
Or less, right? 15,000 or less there. No more than 15,000. All right, so that'll be an inequality. Into 2 investments. One's a high risk, one's a low risk. And then you guys see we're going to put at least 20,000 in the high risk. There's number 2. And then something about the 3 times I'll get to at the end. So 2 inequalities here, right? For my 2 investments. You tell me, X will be, what's the first investment I have here? What type? Oh boy, 2? High risk, good. So this will be the amount of money in the high risk. So however much we put, that'll be in the high risk. And then we'll put the rest of the money in, we'll call Y. 7. What's the other type I could put it in? No 7?
Low risk.
Low, thank you, Tim. Low risk. All right, so here we go. Let's see if we can figure out some. Remember, I want 3. 3 here. Total amount, you can't put more than 15 grand in. So let's get our first inequality. I can't put more than 15 grand in total. So whatever I put in the high risk and low risk combined cannot be more than 15,000. So in total, I can't invest more than 15,000. Help me out here. Help me out. 5. Come on, big dog.
Can you repeat it?
Okay. A person with no more, I don't have no more than 15,000 to invest. Right? In total, the amount of money I have on me is no more than 15,000. And remember, X and Y are the money I put in the bowl. So in total, Clayton, I don't have more than 15,000. So what do I want to do with X and Y?
Add them.
Okay, in total, right? Whatever I put into the high and the low, no more than 15,000.
Is less than or equal to 15,000.
Have some confidence. You got it. Right? I don't have. That's the total amount of money I have. It can't be more than 15,000. You ready for number 2? At least 2,000 has to go in high risk. At least 2,000 has to go in high risk. Remember, I just said high risk. I didn't mention anything about low risk yet. Just 2,000. At least 2,000 you got to put into the high risk. I got to get you off the hook there. Oh boy, it's not letting me. 8.
2,000 is less than, less than or equal to X.
Okay, so X, I'm just going to flip it. X, the amount in the high risk has to be at least, and what inequality did you use? Less than or equal to 2,000, at least. So 2,000 or more has to go into the high risk. Anything here? I know I get nervous too when I make you guys write these. All right, and I said there was 3 inequalities. Here's number 3. The amount invested at the low risk. What did I just call low risk? 7.
Why?
Y. Whoa. Should be at least 3 times what I put in the high risk. No, I'm calling it somebody else. So the amount I put in here should be at least 3 times the high risk. So at least 3 times the high risk. 3, Dylan, what do you think? At least. So what symbol?
Greater than or equal to.
Has to be at least.
3.
Wait, did I flip that before?
Yes.
That should be greater than that and then equal to, yes. One job.
What?
At least. Tim, you have at least $10 in your pocket. What's that mean? Do you have 10 or less or 10 or more?
10 or more.
Okay, so that's why that's on me too. So go ahead, Dylan. Should be greater than or equal to 3 times my high risk.
Yeah.
Okay. There it is. There's all three.
It's not 3y.
Invested at high risk. 3 times that I invested at the high risk, right? And high risk, if you called high risk Y, then yeah. Okay, Jared? All right, we ready to graph? Everything stays in the first quadrant. I don't have any negative. I'm not going to invest a negative amount of money. So here we go. Go ahead, find your intercepts for the first one. X plus Y is less than 15,000. Find your intercepts. I'll ask somebody what their intercepts are here in a second. Ten, what are your intercepts here?
For the first one, I got 15,000.
Yep.
For both.
Yeah, it's both, right? Everyone gets the X and the Y both to be 15,000. Problem, I don't have 15,000 units. I don't think any graph will ever will. What do you suggest we go by?
100. 1,000.
I don't think 100's going to work either. Right? 100 won't fit on there. So we should go by thousands. Okay, hey, just a quick a graphing, something a little worth graphing. Kenya, if you want to try to squeeze 1,000, 2,000 in there, I don't know, gets a little messy. You can do this instead. Okay, you can go, I didn't think about that. You can pull the K business with me. Or you can write 1, 2, 3, 4, just write in below in parentheses that this is in 1,000. But again, I didn't even think about writing the K. If you want to do that, it's at the street lingo. Gives you more street credit if you put the K with it.
$10.
I'm an old school guy, so I write the old in thousands. All right, at the top for that one. Huh? All right, so 15, 15. Plot my points. Connect them with what type of line? 8. What type of line here? Solid. All right, figure out your shading. Test 0, 0, see if it works. Does 0, 0 work in there? When you plug it in, does it work? 5, does it work?
Yeah.
It does, so make sure we shade towards it. Right here.
No.
Why doesn't it work?
Because 0 is not equal. It's not less than 15,000. So
Since when?
Since
0 less than 15,000, Tim.
0 less than 15,000.
That's true.
So it's greater.
0 is not greater than 15,000. You're scaring me here.
Oh,
Isn't that what I get?
yeah.
Is this true?
Yes, it's
So should be shading towards 0, 0. Right? Not away. Everyone all right with that line? Next one. I just have X. Just have X, no Y. We've talked about this. What type of line is the X greater than or equal to 2,000 going to be with no Y with it? 1, vertical, good call, going through 2,000. All right, vertical line going through 2,000, solid or dashed. I'm on fire here today. 7, solid or dashed.
dash.
It's got the or equal to.
It's solid.
Okay, is your opposite button flipped today, Tim?
Yeah.
All right. Going through 2000. All right, this is what I've been trying to preach to you guys. Don't shade the whole darn graph. Only shade what you need to. So if you plug in 0 right now, is 0 greater than 2000? Let's talk. 2, if I plug in 0, is it greater than 2000? No, right? So I want to shade where? To the right or to the left of this? I want to get away. 0, 0 didn't work, right? So I want to shade to the right. But hey, again, why? Why shade that? Other than to make my graph more colorful, right? No. Hi.
Hi.
Right here. This is all I need to shade. That's it. Don't go any further because that's a distraction. That's all that is to many of you. It's a distraction if I have to shade anything else. So does everyone see where my solution might be in this triangle right now? Anything else, I'm not shading. It's got to be somewhere in this triangle right here. It's going to be my solution. All right, you ready for the last one? Because the last one is very special. There's a lot of rule breakers in this next one that don't follow what we've been doing. All right, let's do our intercepts. I'm going to do them with you. So I get y greater than or equal to 3x. Ready? Plug in 0 for x. What do you get for your y? I'm doing this one with you. If I plug in 0 for x, what's the y-intercept come out to be? 6. It does. 3 times 0 comes out to be 0. Okay, watch what happens here. And this is why this is a rule breaker. Plug in 0 for y, everybody. 0 equals 3x. What's going to be your x now? Okay, so I get 0, 0 for both of them. That's a problem because you need 2 points to graph a line. I agree. 0, 0 is going to be one of them. But the other one came out to be 0, 0, 2. So what the heck? I need another point. All right, plug in another number for x then. I plugged in 0. I got the same coordinate back. So hey, let's plug in 1. What happens when you plug in 1 for x? 3 times 1? All right, there's your another point. Okay, I don't know how many times that'll happen. Your both intercepts come out to be the same, but just pick another number to plug in for x. So now plot 1, 3. Over 1 of 3.
Wait, but
Go ahead.
in thousands? Would it still?
Yeah, it's still going to be fine. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. We're all good. What type of line here? 3. What type of line, Dylan? Solid, yep. What is that? Okay, well, before we even talk about shading, everyone see the 2 possible areas where my S is going to be. It's either going to be in this big region here or that smaller triangle I made up top. It can't be anywhere else. All right, because that's the only place where both regions are shaded. So it's either going to be that big massive one or that smaller one up top. All right, you ready to see where we're going to shade now? Anybody got a problem with our good old test point 0, 0? The line's on there. I can't use 0, 0. Remember that. If the line goes through 0, 0, I can't use it. So what do I do instead? Pick a new point that's not on the line. All right, I'm going to have somebody to make a class decision for us, but pick a new point to test that's not on the line because 0, 0 is. 7. Big job for you here. Tim, let's go. Rein it in here. Give me another point to test then. 0, 0 doesn't work.
1.
What do you want? 1? I need a point that's not on this line that I just graphed. Any point not on the line so I can test it.
1. 1 to the 5th.
1.5?
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. Let's test 1.5 then. If you don't like 1.5, you can test your own point, but we'll test 1.5. So 5 greater than or equal to 3. Is that true? Yep. So I want to make sure in this case, my shading goes towards 1.5. Remember what we talked about? No reason to shade. No reason to shade. No reason to shade. None. Up. Now there is right here. No reason to shade up here. There it is. Everyone see my final resting place here for right there. There's my shaded region. And then if I did I should put this definitely next year. If I had a part B and said, all right, how much in the high risk and how much in the low risk should I invest? You give me a point that's clearly in there. X would be the amount in the high risk. Y would be the amount in the low risk. That's where we're going here with the pre-calc stuff. All right, we good? Tomorrow, just get in here, get your equipment, your supplies, and get going. You got 2 problems tomorrow, similar to these 2. Friday's coming quick.